Good evening, friends. This is Father Tim. We begin our time together tonight by continuing our reading of First Kings. We'll be resuming this evening in chapter 5. That's the easy part. Chapter 5. The not so easy part is, what verse are we starting at? We're reading from the Complete Jewish Bible. In the Jewish Bible, the verse that we're starting off with tonight is verse 27 of chapter 5. In the Christian Bible, which will have the NRSV updated edition on the right-hand column, we're starting at verse 13. Remember, chapters and verses all came along later, and we're all set later as to where they should be. And so it's not terribly shocking that they don't always agree. Complete Jewish Bible here is in the left-hand column, NRSV in the right-hand column. So chapter 5, we are in the heart of the section that is Solomon's reign, the first 11 chapters of this book. Chapters 5 through 8, which is where we are now, the focus is on Solomon's building the temple. And we are very much into that now. So, friends, let's read. Get our timer up here, and let's jump into the text. Oh, and let me first say, as we're reading from a Jewish Bible, some of the things aren't going to sound alike. Some names are different because they're Jewish names. And so I will point those out and mention when we come across these Jewish names, the equivalent that we know them as Christians. Like, for example, right up front, King Shlomo is King Solomon. Let's read. Good evening, Francis. Good evening, Mom. King Shlomo conscripted 30,000 men from all Israel for forced labor. He sent them to the Lebanon, in monthly relays of 10,000. They would stay a month in the Lebanon and 2 months at home. Adoniram was in charge of the forced labor. Shlomo had 70,000 men to carry loads and another 80,000 stonecutters in the hills. Besides Shlomo's 3,300 supervisors, who were in charge of the people doing the work. The king gave orders, and they quarried large stones, expensive stones, to lay the foundation of the house with cut stone. Shlomo's and Hiram's builders, along with the men of Geval. the Gebalites, worked the stones and prepared the timber and stones for building the house. Chapter 6. It was in the 480th year after Israel had left the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Shlomo's reign over Israel, in the month of Ziv, which is the 2nd month, that he began to build the house of Adonai. The house which King Shlomo built for Adonai was 105 feet long, 35 feet wide, and 52.5 feet high. The hall fronting the temple of the house was 35 feet long, the same as the width of the house itself, so that its 17.5 foot width extended frontward from the house. The windows he made for the house were wide on the inside and narrow on the outside. Against the wall of the house, he built an annex all the way around. It went all the way around the walls of the house, including both the temple and the sanctuary. The lowest floor of the annex was 8.75 feet wide, the middle floor 10.5 feet wide, and the third floor 12.25 feet wide, for he had made the outer part of the wall of the house step-shaped, so that the beams of the annex would not have to be attached to the house walls. For the house, when under construction, was built of stone prepared at the quarry, so that no hammer, chisel, or iron tool of any kind was heard in the house while it was being built. The entrance to the lowest floor was on the south side of the house. A spiral staircase went up to the middle floor and on to the third. So he built the house, and after finishing it, he put its roof on cedar planks over beams. Each floor of the annex surrounding the house was 8.75 feet high and was attached to the house with beams of cedar. Then this word of Adonai came to Shlomo. Concerning this house which you are building, if you will live according to my regulations, follow my rulings, and observe all my mitzvot, ordinances, teaching, commandments. It's a complex word, mitzvot. If you will live according to my regulations, following my rulings, and observe all my mitzvot, and live by them, then I will establish with you my promise that I made to David your father. I will live in it among the people of Israel, and I will not abandon my people Israel. So Solomon finished building the house. The insides of the walls of the house he built with boards of cedar. From the floor of the house to the joists of the ceiling, he covered them on the inside with wood, and he covered the floor of the house with boards of cypress. The 35-foot back portion of the house he built with boards of cedar from the floor to the joists, and reserved this part of the house to be a sanctuary, the especially holy place. Well, the rest of the house, that is, the temple in front, was 70 feet long. The cedar covering the house was carved with gourds and open flowers. All was cedar, no stone was visible. In the inner part of the house, he set up the sanctuary, so that the ark for the covenant of Adonai could be placed there. This sanctuary was 35 feet long, wide, and high, and it was overlaid with pure gold. In front of it, he set an altar which he covered with cedar. Shlomo overlaid the interior of the house with pure gold and had chains of gold placed before the sanctuary, which itself he overlaid with gold. The entire house he overlaid with gold until it was completely covered with it. He also overlaid with gold the entire altar that belonged to the sanctuary. Inside the sanctuary, he made two cherubim of olive wood. Cherubim, each 17.5 feet high. Each of the two wings of one of the cherubim was 8.75 feet long, so that the distance from the end of one wing to the end of the other was 17.5 feet. Likewise, the wing spread of the other cherub was 17.5 feet. Both cherubim were identical in shape and size. The height of the one cherub was 17.5 feet, likewise that of the other. He set the cherubim in the inner house. The wings of the cherubim were stretched out so that the wing of the one touched the one wall, and the wing of the other cherub touched the other wall. Their wings touched each other in the middle of the house. He overlaid the cherubim with gold all around the walls of the house, both inside the sanctuary and outside it. And that, friends, is where we are going to pause, as the timer has run out. So next time that we pick up 1 Kings, we'll resume at chapter 6, verse 31. Good evening, Don and Linda. Good evening, Anthony. Friends, thank you for reading with us. And note that in just a few moments after we close off this live, there will be a second live of the evening, and in that we will pray Vespers, evening prayer. Peace to you, blessings be with you. See you in a couple moments for prayers.